Now on Sunrise and streaming on crossroadstoday.com. A special city meeting revealed insights as to what caused the 2 boil water notices in Victoria. What we know, that's just ahead. And a murder suspect in court Wednesday in a case that captured the crossroads that now moves toward a trial. Plus, a decades-long skin cancer battle and how new treatments are changing the prognosis on melanoma.
And I'm sure y'all probably already know what I'm about to say. It's going to be another hot one out there with triple digits possible once again today before rain arrives this weekend, and it's coming from the tropics. We'll have all that in the weather coming up.
And the Calhoun Sand Crabs football team looks to make some new changes going into this season. We'll give you their full CFL preview later on in sports.
You're watching 25 News Now Sunrise. Good morning, Crossroads, and happy Thursday or Friday Eve, as Parker likes to say.
That's right. Also, happy second day of school for most of us.
Yes. Hope y'all have a great second day, and I'm looking forward to the weekend, Parker, but is the rain going to get in the way?
Actually, I think the rain is actually going to be bringing us some smiles this weekend because it's been a bit of a hot one out there over the last several days. We're going to look at what yesterday turned out to be here in just a second, and we'll also look at the rain here later because first things first, we're starting out the day with a very pretty sunrise. Got some pink, blue, purple, all kinds of colors on your screen as that sun's coming up. And if you're headed out to see the sunrise or sending your kiddos out the door this morning, or if you're headed out to work, it's warm like it usually is. 79, we're almost 80 degrees in Victoria starting at the day. 77 dew point bringing us a high humidity of 94%. Not enough to really worry about fog right now, and also because we have a little bit of mixing in the air because of this right here. You see down here in South Texas, this little weak line of clouds, pretty transparent in nature. This is that outflow boundary that we were talking about yesterday that brought us just a few scattered showers and thunderstorms to our northern counties, also some in our central counties. But you see behind that boundary, it's real clear. That's the sunny skies coming away before this tropical wave right here brings us rain tomorrow. We'll look at that later because if you're sending your kiddos out the door this morning, it's going to be warm and humid like it is right now, but then a hot afternoon. We'll have all those details coming up next.
Victoria City leaders are explaining what caused 2 boil water notices just weeks apart. At a special meeting Wednesday night, the report from a subcommittee found both incidents were due to human error. Things like poor communication, no clear operating procedures, and short staffing. Officials say the problems could have been prevented and that several fixes have already been put in place since July. They say the public deserves better, and work is underway to make more of what they call targeted, practical, and effective improvements. A high-profile murder case is set to go before a jury in Matagorda County. On Wednesday, Fernando Acosta Jr. appeared in court, where attorneys told a judge they're ready to move forward with the trial. Acosta is accused in the murder of Amanda Johnson, who was found in a burned-out SUV in 2021. Investigators say they found tracks at the scene that match a green 1993 Ford XLT dually truck registered to Acosta. An arrest warrant says surveillance video shows that truck leaving Acosta's house in the 700 block of East Crestwood at 12:11 a.m. on April 17, 2021, and returning at 5:01 a.m. Acosta faces 2 other indictments related to the case. The trial is set for Monday, September 8th at 9 a.m. A jury trial in the murder case of an Edna cheerleader is scheduled to start October 27th. A hearing in the case begins this morning. Rafael Romero is charged with capital murder, but prosecutors aren't seeking the death penalty. 16-year-old Lisbeth Medina was killed on December 5th, 2023. At the time, Romero was on probation for felony burglary and living in Schulenburg with an expired work visa. The court could hold one more pretrial hearing before the trial date in October. The U.S. national debt has reached a record $37 trillion. The latest Treasury Department report issued Tuesday showed, and it comes earlier than pre-pandemic projections, with the Congressional Budget Office in 2020 predicting the gross federal debt wouldn't hit $37 trillion until 2030. However, the debt grew faster than expected because of a multi-year COVID-19 pandemic starting in 2020 that shut down much of the U.S. economy. And now President Donald Trump's sweeping tax cut and spending package signed into law earlier this year are expected to add $4.1 trillion to the national debt over the next decade. We now turn to melanoma, the skin cancer once again in the news. Days after the death of Kelly Clarkson's ex-husband, NFL owner Jerry Jones is revealing how he fought stage 4 melanoma and won. ABC's Allison Kosick has the story.
This morning, Dallas Cowboys owner Jerry Jones revealing his decade-long battle with skin cancer, first coming to light in an upcoming Netflix documentary.
The Dallas Cowboys is a soap opera 365 days a year.
The 82-year-old says he beat stage 4 melanoma after being diagnosed in 2010, undergoing multiple surgeries, including 2 on his lungs.
I was so fortunate to have some great people that sent me in the right direction.
Melanoma is not the most common skin cancer, but it certainly is the most deadly type of skin cancer.
Melanoma already in the spotlight after this month's death of Kelly Clarkson's ex-husband, Brandon Blackstock. He was just 48, but Jones says he's now tumor-free thanks to an experimental drug.
It's called PD-1, and it really, really, really worked. It ate my hips up. I had to have both hips replaced because it was rough on your bones.
These clinical trials and cancer research is just so important because it offers access to cutting-edge treatment really years before it becomes the standard of care. Historically, stage 4 melanoma carried a very, very grim prognosis. But with advancement in science and technology and medicine and some of these experimental drugs or drugs found through clinical trials, that outlook is sort of changing.
So how can you protect yourself? Wear sunscreen and get your skin checked by a dermatologist on a regular basis. Allison Kosick, ABC News, New York.
Victoria ISD starts the year with some positive news from the spring. The Texas Education Agency's 2025 A through F accountability ratings are released. No district schools received an F rating. 3 campuses earned an A rating. Those are Mission Valley and Vickers Elementary Schools and the Early Childhood Center at FW Gross. 7 campuses earned a B rating and 2 campuses improved 3-letter grades from an F in 2024 to a B in 2025. Remember, follow us on YouTube, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click that notification bell. The time now, let's get a look at our clock up here. It is 6:37 on our Thursday morning. Here's a look at what's coming up next on 25 News Now Sunrise. Classes are now in session and one school welcomed back students with a brand new facility.
One day until the high-stakes summit in Alaska, and President Trump is now warning of severe consequences if Putin does not end the war. I'm Nicole D'Antonio in Washington with details this morning.
And also coming up next after the break in the short-term forecast, as you can see, it was a hot one everywhere yesterday, and it'll be another hot one today. So coming up next, I'll tell you if I think it'll be 100 near you. Well, good morning, Crossroads, and happy Thursday, Friday Eve. Y'all get excited for the weekend because tomorrow, Friday and Saturday, rain chances are back up to a nice 50%. And we're looking at all that here in just a second, I promise, because before that gets here, we got another hot day to deal with. So y'all please stay safe and hydrated in the heat. You're looking at yesterday's high temperatures. It's going to be pretty similar to yesterday. That's why I'm showing you this. Yesterday in Victoria, outside city limits at the airport, Victoria Airport reported 101 degrees for the high, but in the city limits, Victoria reported, a few public gauges reported 102 to 103 degrees. And you can see a lot of other areas reach the hundreds as well. Same in Port Lavaca. They actually hit 101, not 100. But if you think that is hot, it was 107 in Laredo and 104 in Carson City yesterday. But like I was saying, if you thought that was hot, to get a load of the heat indices yesterday, yes, your eyes are, you're not seeing this incorrectly. It was actually 123 degrees for the heat index yesterday afternoon in Port Lavaca, and you can see that lasted for about a solid hour or so. Everybody else was 110 to 120 as well. So I hope y'all are all safe and sound and doing the same again, because it's going to be a hot one underneath some mostly sunny skies, as you can see in your future tracker. Except today we're going to have a very low 10% chance to see maybe 1 or 2 showers trying to form out there. Everybody else, it's going to be mostly sunny. Those clouds you saw were cirrus clouds. And that's going to heat us up to the upper 90s and low 100s again, maybe 100 here again in Victoria. before the rain gets here, and it's coming out of the tropics, so we'll look at that coming up next.
All right, Crossers, today we head down south to cover the Calhoun Sand Crabs. Last year they started 0-4 to start the season until they flipped the switch for the second half of the year, which made them reach the regional semifinals before they lost Lavernia Bears in a tight contest. The final score was 24-21. Then that game, we didn't know at the time, that would become Richard Whittaker's last game as head coach as he retired after 20-plus years of coaching. And the Sand Crabs, they had to make a new change in head coach, right? So they had a new man in charge and Cal Allen assistant there and Stephen Hernser, who brings more of that wing T offensive style there to Sand Crab Nation. And Calhoun also would lose their defensive coordinator there, Alan Salinas, would move up there to Victoria East. Now they have a new man there in charge in Greg Gonzalez, and he's been there a couple months, and he's, trying to help out this team a lot this season, get them together, make a lot of things happen. So good for them for Gonzalez, and also keep an eye on wide receiver Isaiah Cabrera, as he's going to be huge this season as well on the offensive side. See if he can get some big time catches out there in the backfield. This is Max Williams, 25 News Now Sports.
Now to the latest on Friday's high-stakes summit in Alaska between President Trump and Vladimir Putin. This morning, they're getting a better idea of what the U.S. may offer Russia to stop the fighting in Ukraine. ABC's Nicole D'Antonio is in Washington with details.
This morning, President Trump preparing to meet with Vladimir Putin in Alaska, the first time the Russian president has set foot on U.S. soil in nearly a decade. The British Daily Telegraph reports White House officials are working on a deal that would give Russia access to natural resources in Alaska in exchange for ending the war, along with the lifting of some sanctions on the Russian aviation industry, and providing access to rare earth minerals in Ukrainian territories currently under Russian occupation. Trump warning Russia there will be consequences if Putin doesn't agree to end the war.
Will Russia face any consequences if Vladimir Putin does not agree to stop the war after your meeting on Friday?
Yes, they will. Yeah.
What will the consequences
there will be
be?
consequences.
Sanctions, tariffs?
There will be, I don't have to say, there will be very severe consequences.
The president has called Friday's meeting a listening exercise, adding that it's really about, quote, setting the table for a future face-to-face meeting between Putin and Ukrainian President Zelensky.
There's a very good chance that we're going to have a second meeting, which will be more productive than the first.
But Zelensky warns that Putin is bluffing and he's not serious about ending this war. On Wednesday, President Trump spoke virtually with Ukraine's president and European leaders. The British Prime Minister ready for a peace deal, but still had this warning for Putin.
We do stand ready also to increase pressure on Russia, particularly the economy, with sanctions and wider measures as may be necessary.
Trump has suggested both sides may need to give up territory. Russia currently controls about 20% of Ukraine and is making advances. Video circulating online this week shows explosions across the Eastern Front, with Russian troops breaching the front line. Civilian deaths now reportedly at their highest levels since the early months of the war. During that call with Zelensky, European leaders say they are united with President Trump that there must be a ceasefire before peace talks can begin. Nicole D'Antonio, ABC News, Washington.
And that leads us to your viewer poll. You can scan the QR code right there on your screen to take part. We want to know, do you think Trump and Putin will reach a deal? 22% of you say yes, and 78% of you say no. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part in our viewer poll. It was a big first day at the brand new Mission Valley Elementary. Classes officially started at 8 a.m., but the festivities began as students arrived. The project, funded by a close to $25 million bond approved by voters in 2021. The district also reported earning more interest than expected on unused bond funds, creating enough financial flexibility to add a brand new playground to the campus. And as students across the region head back to class, we're celebrating the start of the new year with first day photos. Entries are open until 6 p.m. Friday, August 22nd. I think that's next Friday. Just come to crossroadstoday.com, click on the entertainment tab, and under contests, you'll see where you can submit your back to school photos. Let's make it a great year. And if you're looking to watch some Texas football this weekend, you can tune in to catch the Cowboys and the Texans on Saturday. The Houston Texans will face off against the Carolina Panthers at noon on the CW network. And on Saturday evening at 6 p.m., you can watch the Cowboys play the Baltimore Ravens on KMOL NBC. So don't forget to tune in and support our Texas teams. The time now is 6:46 on our Thursday morning. Still to come on Sunrise, we learn about an event that can help the first day of the fall semester make it easier for students. All right, it's time to celebrate some birthdays. Happy birthday to Lupe. Happy birthday from your family. We love you.
Happy birthday, Lupe or Lupe. And also happy birthday to Ashton. Happy 11th birthday, Ashton. Hope you enjoy your big day.
And he's a wild and crazy guy. Happy birthday to Steve Martin, the comedian, actor, writer, producer, and musician is 80 today. Happy birthday.
Big 80. Happy birthday, Steve Martin. And to see your birthday wish live on 25 News Now Sunrise, you can come to crossroadstoday.com. Just click the drop-down menu, then click the Home tab, and then you'll see Submit Your Birthday Photo.
Okay, the time is now 6:47 on our Thursday morning. Happy birthday if you're celebrating one today.
That's right. Happy birthday. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Well, good morning, Crossroads. I'm sure a lot of y'all saw the 7-day forecast just a few moments ago, and you saw all the rain that's coming back this weekend. Chances are up to a nice 50%. We've been talking about this all week long, so I hope y'all are as excited as I am, because look at that. It's going to keep us a little bit cooler before the heat. It's coming right back. I'm sure that's the other part of the 7-day. You saw temperatures are right back in the upper 90s and low 100s underneath that beaming Texas sun next week, as soon as this little tropical disturbance comes on shore and is out of our area. In fact, what we've been tracking all week, where the rain's coming from, it should be nothing new to y'all because we've been talking about it the entire week. It's this tropical wave that came off of South America, which is very uncommon, I should say. But right now, it is currently sitting in the southern Bay of Campeche, the southern Gulf, just recently came off the Yucatan Peninsula, and the National Hurricane Center still has chances of development on the system at a low 20%. So if anything does form in this little yellow area over the next 48 hours, that's when it would form. If anything, the max would be a tropical depression. So to reiterate, no tropical storm or hurricane is going to form in this, and nothing is going to come our way except for moisture that's going to swing around the northern end of that, and that's going to bring us rain chances for this weekend. So we actually get to be excited about this tropical nonsense, and we don't have to worry about this. Tropical storm Erin still wandering across the Atlantic, wind sustained at 50 miles an hour, so it's picked up a little bit in strength since yesterday. Still expected to be the first hurricane of the season. But for us, we're going to be monitoring these two tropical waves that are about to come off. One already has come off the African coast, but we're going to be watching those two tropical waves over the next 2 weeks because they're both expected to travel westward and possibly into the Caribbean and maybe Gulf. So we'll have more on that later. And of course, we're more importantly tracking the rain. You can see there's that tropical circulation over Brownsville and all the rain for Friday and Saturday. And we're going to look at all that and more later on Sunrise.
I'm now joined by Oscar Torres, who's the Director of Recruitment at A&M Victoria. Welcome and congratulations on the new title.
Oh, thank you so much. I do appreciate it.
So I hear you have a Super Saturday coming up, which they happen across the country at different colleges and universities. My dad mentioned taking my sister to one where they live, but this is coming up for Texas A&M Victoria, or A&M Victoria. We can just say that now, right?
Absolutely, yes. And we are excited. A&M Victoria will be hosting our first Super Saturday on August 23rd from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the University Commons building. Now, the intention of this event is for any students who have already submitted an application to A&M Victoria for fall 2025. They'll be able to come in on that Saturday, tie up any loose ends, whether they need to enroll in classes, maybe need to submit any documents for admissions or financial aid purposes, or check a status of their financial aid, or maybe just want to talk to a few of us in the Welcome Center or various offices across the campus. We'll be there to service them on that Saturday, and we're looking forward to it.
And so this is only for students that have already been accepted. You can't just show up and apply.
So it is geared towards students who have already submitted an application, and the goal is for those who are accepted to get enrolled. But of course, any student, whether they have general questions or if they do want to apply that day, they can still come on in on that Saturday, and one of us will be able to take care of them on that Saturday.
Oh, and maybe start the semester.
Absolutely, yes,
Perhaps.
because the first day of class does not begin until September 2nd. So there is still time for students to come on in, submit their application, or get enrolled in classes, and we'll be ready to have them as part of the first A&M Victoria class.
Yes, it's very exciting, and I know that's important for people to note because sometimes, you know, families, you have busy lives, and you miss those initial application deadlines that are usually in the spring or early winter months. So it's nice to have that opportunity and to possibly become a part of this first inaugural class.
Absolutely, yes. No, we are excited for it. And just to provide a security blanket for any students who come on in, we'll be offering campus tours available upon request. So if it's the first time you ever come into our campus, we'll be happy to give you a campus tour of A&M Victoria on that day.
I'm sure even alumni would appreciate that because there's so many new buildings.
There is, yes, and we're going to keep on growing and very excited for the new transition, the change, and you know, we're here to service not only our students but across the region.
And it's going to be at 9 a.m.
Yes, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. It is a come and go event, so any students who come on in, they can show up right at 9 a.m. or just any time between that time frame, and we'll have various staff to assist them.
All right, well, thank you so much, Oscar. Well, I look forward to seeing you again in the future.
And thank you, likewise.
All right. Well, we'll be right back after this break. The White House is reviewing Smithsonian Museum exhibits to ensure they align with President Trump's vision. The review covers online content, exhibit planning, grant use, and messaging. Officials at 8 museums, including the National Museum of American History and the National Museum of African American History and Culture, must provide exhibit information and prepare for potential changes. A judge in Illinois denied Texas's plan to enforce civil arrest warrants for absent Texas House Democrats who flew to Chicago to block redistricting. The judge said the court lacked jurisdiction. The redistricting could give Republicans a 5-seat House advantage. The length of the Democrats' absence is unclear. TxDOT is hosting 2 public hearings this month on a plan for major changes to U.S. Highway 77 in Refugio County. The changes would upgrade the highway to interstate standards near Woodsboro, along with building a new U.S. 77 roadway east of Refugio. The first hearing is set for Wednesday, August 20th at the Refugio County Expo Center, and the second hearing will be held on Thursday, August 21st at the Woodsboro School Cafeteria. And we want to invite y'all to experience our new digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV through Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, and Android TV. Just search for Crossroads Today Plus. And now let's get a look at our sunrise with Parker. How's it looking?
Well, the sunrise is not looking too bad to us once again this morning. It does look a little bit kind of hazy out there right now. That's thanks to a little bit of cloud cover, as you can see way up there in the upper levels of the sky. But it's real warm out there this morning, starting out the day, 78 degrees. And in fact, some of us are still sitting in the mid and upper 80s. And the sun just came up, hasn't went down. 78 though in Victoria, dew point 77, bringing us some high humidity. So maybe apply some hairspray to combat that humidity. But also, drink your water today to combat the heat because we're looking for another hot one pretty similar to yesterday. Honestly, I'm going to go ahead and say it's probably going to be 100 degrees in Port Lavaca. Underneath some mostly sunny, beaming Texas sun today. Victoria, the same thing. I might as well say 100 because it was 101 yesterday, 102 in the city. And the same thing in Cuero. I'm thinking 100 degrees as well. Also, maybe 101. But if y'all are not a fan of these triple-digit heat, these temperatures, well, worry not, because we've got rain coming back our way for tomorrow, Friday, and Saturday, both days at a nice 50% before the sun comes back out next week. And yep, we're right back in the heat.
All right, Parker.
Right back in the heat.
I'm going to grin and bear it until those fall feels finally arrive. I'm going to guess early October.
I'm going to be dancing in the rain.
Parker, watch out, don't break a leg.
No, I won't.
And y'all have a safe rest of your Thursday. We'll see y'all tonight for 25 News Now at 5, 6, and 10 with Shauna, Dawn, Maclovio, and Max. Have a great Thursday.